Check 1 2, check 1 2. It's Friday. It's Friday. It's the freaking weekend, baby. The start of the weekend. Welcome everybody. Welcome everybody to another morning motivation. It's Friday. The freaking weekend, baby. If you in your car, drive safe. If you sipping your first cup of coffee this morning, I'm gonna say cheers to you. It's another Friday we get to see. Happy Friday, everybody. Happy Friday. Woo. Just want to say it's been a very, very long week for you, boy. A lot of moving parts, a lot of moving pieces happening in my life, and they're all good. Even if they're not so good, they're all good. Because it's about how you see it. You get what you see. You get what you see. We've been talking about this for, man, some time now. The month of September is almost done. This is the last show for September. I started September 11th. I did 2 shows that week, but I've been going 5 days a week ever since. So today is probably show 13-ish, 12, 13. I lose track of the numbers, but I'm excited for the process. I'm excited for the growth. And creating content every day is not the easiest thing to do because there's so many things that happen in life. There's so many obstacles from time to time, and you have to learn to power through and grow along your journey. And so that's what your boy's been doing. And so I want to do a quick recap on some things that we talked about yesterday, not just yesterday, but the whole month of September. I'm strategically trying to work in some mindset stuff. I'm trying to show and tell some examples, trying to get everybody on the same page before we start talking about the truly beneficial things that personal development does for you. And I must say, I am amazed by some of the comments that I've received, some of the conversations that has been sparked, and I just want to say again, thank you for giving me your time. I mean, energy and attention. It's important, and it warms my heart to know that the work that I'm doing it matters to people. So I'm excited about that. I'm also excited. I just want to give you some pre-information. I am launching a company called Father Figure Institute. Soft launch is happening October 14th, and I'm doing it with a fishing tournament. So if you are in the North Carolina area, Raleigh, Durham to be exact, we call in volunteers, we call in teams. We trying to put together a 30-team father-child fishing tournament. I'll put information out there, but if you want to go to fatherfigureinstitute.com, fatherfigureinstitute.com, you can get more information on our fishing tournament in general. If you want to be a sponsor, you want to donate to sponsor a team or two, or just help with some of the cost of it, we'd appreciate that. But that's enough about that. Like, comment, share, subscribe if you hadn't already done it. this show was just getting started and we are picking up steam. And I've already started working on what we're doing next week and the week after that. So, personal development is what you into. This is the channel. Live, Monday through Friday, morning motivations. So, let's do a quick recap. We've been talking about the mindset. This week was about knowing yourself, knowing who you are, knowing why you are who you are, your genetics, the things that's just in your bloodline between your mother and your father, the combination of the two, the upbringing, the indoctrination of your family and your culture, your church. We were born into all of that. But then we get to a point where we start to step outside of the family, outside of the norm, and we start learning new things, new experiences, new exposures, and life starts to form in our mind how we see the world, our worldview. It informs our self esteem and what's actually possible for us, which is sometimes why fear creeps in because an idea comes along and it's so big, it's so bodacious. You haven't seen it before, or you've seen it, but nobody you know has done it. And the doubt creeps in. Well, I'm here to tell you that is a good thing. That is an amazing thing. Your dreams should make you a little nervous. They should scare you just a little bit because the brain's job is to keep you comfortable. And we all know in life, you either growing or you're dying. You never stand still. Even if you think you're standing still, you're maintaining. You're not. You either making progress or you being set back. My health. I showed pictures of myself this week about my journey, my before my weight loss and after my weight loss. And for a long span of time in there, I thought I was just maintaining, but I was gaining zero point 0.2 pounds every other day. I was gaining a pound a week. If you gain a pound a week, do you realize you gained 52 pounds in a year? Just a pound a week. If you gain a pound a month, you gain 12 pounds in that year. So you either maintaining mentally, but you're growing physically, or you're being intentional and you're losing. The only way to maintain is to be on a regiment, to be on a system, to be in community where you know, okay, ooh, I gained 2 pounds this week. Let me go get them off next week. Let's do some intermittent fasting. Let's change the diet up. That's all the strategic moves that you make that help you actually maintain a healthy weight and a healthy life. It's strategy involved. It's not just, I think I feel okay today. I'm not going to cold call somebody. Or, yeah, I think sales are okay. I'm not going to do this, not going to do that. So yesterday's show was about freeing the mind. We talked about what you see is what you get. So we talked about freeing the mind. And I used the matrix as a sounding board or a foundation because we've all seen the matrix. We all have an understanding of what the matrix was really about. So today I want to go just a little bit deeper into the matrix. And I want to have one thought for today. No limit, no spoon. No limit, no spoon. That's also the topic of the day, right? No limit, no spoon. But there's two questions for today that I really want to put out there. And it's the most important two questions that you could ever ask yourself. The first question is, what do I want? And not what do I kind of want, not what would I like to have. It truly is, what do I want? You have to know what you want. When I'm talking to people and they're telling me their problems or they're telling me what's going on or the setbacks that they're having or the challenge that they're facing in this particular moment, I listen and I'm hearing them, but in the back of my mind, I'm asking a question. What do you want? And eventually I'll ask them, and it's like, well, I mean, I would like, no, not what you would like. What do you want? What do you want? That's the first question that you must ask yourself when you're trying to reinvent yourself, when you're trying to do something different, get out of a hole or a rut that you're in. What do you want? And the second question is, why not me? Why not me? Or why not you? Why can't I have it? Other people have it. Other people are living this particular lifestyle. Other people are doing this particular thing. Why can't I? What's different about me? What's different about them that they can do it, but I can't do it? So those are the two questions of today. But before we get into that, I want to talk to you guys. If you are feeling good this Friday morning, put a one in the chat. If you are feeling excited this morning about life and opportunities, put a one in the chat. If you are a little hungover, not off drink, maybe off drink too, but if you're a little hungover because this has just been a tough week, put a two. Yeah, that chick, yo, she got multiple ones. She's feeling amazing today. I love that energy. I want to vibrate on your energy, yo. I want to vibrate on that energy with you. But if you're having a challenging week and you just can't wait for this week to be over, put a two in the chat. Put a two in the chat. If you going through some things and you physically here, but you mentally not here, put a two in the chat too. I want to see how we feeling today. Oh, word. Yes, yes. Oh, Gary, brick by brick. Oh, we love the ones, Bobby. Yeah, love the ones. And Gary, I just realized, bro, you put a comment in yesterday. I keep forgetting that there's a delay. There's like a 5 to 7 second delay. So when I was shouting out yesterday, I didn't shout my boy Gary out. So apologies, didn't mean to miss you, man. But I saw it as soon as I hit the end stream button. I'm like, no, because I want to show love, man. Oh, Craig G put a two. Or is that a piece or a two? I'm assuming it's a two. So cool. Either way, we gonna work today. If you already high, we gonna get you higher. We gonna get you high today. It's Friday. You ain't got no job. You ain't got to do. But if you at a two, oh, we gonna elevate. We're gonna elevate. Let's go. So before we get into it, you know how we do. We're gonna start with these gratitudes. And I'm gonna give you the first 20, 30 seconds just to say your gratitude, thing that you're grateful for. Because we all know it could have been another way. It could always be worse. But being better is intentional. And that's what we want to get to today. So let's hop into these gratitudes. I'm grateful. I'm grateful to see another Friday. I'm grateful. I'm grateful for the health, the strength, the breath that I'm breathing right now. I'm grateful for my family, my friends, the people that love and celebrate me. I'm grateful for another day to love and celebrate them. I'm grateful for my past, all the mistakes that I made, all the lessons that I've learned. I'm grateful. I'm grateful for my present, the lessons that I'm learning right now. And I'm grateful for the future of all the possibilities and what's to come. I am grateful for love, relationships, growth. I am grateful for new partnerships, exponential growth and opportunities. I'm grateful for a mind to see through the smoke, see past the mirrors. I'm grateful for perception, the ability to feel and see and have an understanding at a higher level. I'm grateful. Woo! All right. I'm grateful. I hope that you are. And so let's get into today's topic. My favorite, well, probably my second favorite scene in the whole Matrix movie was when Morpheus takes Neo to see the Oracle. Y'all know where I'm going with this, right? Two things. When he first walks in, Neo sees the children, they're levitating blocks, and one little guy's in the corner bending a spoon. And that catches Neo's eye. So he goes over and he looks at the guy, and the guy gives him the spoon. And Neo looks at it and he says, the key to it is realizing the truth. Neo says, well, what is the truth? The little kid said, the truth is there is no spoon. There is no spoon. So once you understand that there is no spoon, you're realizing it's not the spoon that bends, but it's you. That is our life. We see these roadblocks, we see these obstacles, all these barriers in the way. But the truth of the matter is, there are no obstacles, there are no limits. It's not the obstacle that must move, it's you that must move. It's your perception, it's how you see things. A guy named by the name of Bob Proctor, he said this one time in a talk or a book that I read about his or something. I don't remember exactly where, but he says that our perception is based off of our logic, meaning how we see the world, how we've been indoctrinated, culturalized. That's what determines our limits. Meaning there are no limits except for the ones that are imposed upon us or we impose upon ourselves. When somebody told you as a child, stop being silly, you can't do that. Barrier, limit set. Or you go out and do a thing and you make a mistake and it don't work out, limit. So now you're scared to bump your head again. You're scared to go higher than you have been before because there's a barrier, there's a limit that's been placed. In a lot of cars, they put governors on the motor. So you will see 160 on the dash, but the car might only do 110. Manufacturers have to put governors on cars for public safety. It's required to do it for some strange reason. But if you go to other countries, say Germany, where there is an Autobahn, where there is no speed limit, there are no governors. If the dash says 210, you can do all 210 of those miles. Zooming through. I had my first experience in Germany when my daughter was stationed there. I went over with her when my granddaughter was born, and we're on the Autobahn, and we're probably doing about $140. Now, this is the fastest I've ever been in a car because in the States, you can't really do 140 on the highway and get away with it most times, or without people drive crazy. So you're gonna run up on somebody or something crazy. You can never fully max out if your car can do it. We doing 140, flying, no limits. The wind is whipping. Think we passing signs like shoot, 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 shoot. And then what did I see? 5 cars passed us like we were standing still. Vroom, vroom, vroom. I think one was a Lambo. The other one might have been a Porsche. Then it was a Benz, another Benz, and a Beamer. I mean, it was cars just rolling past us like we were standing still. And I learned then there are no limits. The only limits that we have are those imposed by our culture, our system, or on ourselves. When I'm talking to mentors, or because I had a speaking engagement a little while ago for a group of mentors. There's about 200 mentors in the room, and they were working with children. And I have a very similar conversation when I'm talking to high school, middle school kids. And the question I always ask them, how do you want to be something that you've never seen? If you come from a community or a place where everything around you is the same, for example, my community, I saw people get up every morning, go to work. They worked in factories, they worked in daycares, they worked at gas stations or at hotels. I didn't see people going up to go work at the TV studio. I didn't see people going to be a full-time coach. So what I saw was my local pastor and my uncle, who was a sanitation worker. So I wanted to be either a sanitation worker or a preacher. To my surprise, when I got into I went to school for mass communications, journalism degree to be exact. And I got exposed to the behind the scenes of an award show. When that show wrapped, I said to myself, I never want to write for a paper. I never want to do anything with news. I want to create because the exposure changed my perception. My logic began to change, thinking that if all these people are doing these jobs, I can do it. I can do it. So exposure is key. That's why the YouTube space is so important because you get a chance to see people from all walks of life, whether they're giving knowledge, whether they're entertaining. You see more than just in my neighborhood. We saw the famous people, the entertainers, the athletes, and everybody wants to be. All the guys wanted to be football players or basketball players or run track. All the girls wanted to be maybe movie stars or makeup artists or work in the daycare because their mother worked in the daycare or be a teacher. We just were socialized in a way that our experience was that of what our community was doing. And that's where most of us fall. So exposure matters. And I found this idea, I got it from Oprah actually, some years ago. And then Michael Phelps was a huge proponent of visualizations, vision boards, actually imagining the things that you want to have in life, finding either blueprints or models of that, people doing it, or pictures of exotic places. Like I have a whole wall that I'll show y'all another day. I don't have a vision board, I have a vision wall now. My dreams have outgrown the board because the picture had to be too small for all of them to fit. So I got a whole wall now that's dedicated to my visions. And it's important every day that I look at those, that I think about the possibilities, that I see people actually living the life, taking the trips, having the stuff. And it has to be something that makes you feel a way. That way, honestly, maybe you may feel a little nervous about it. And your dreams should be so big that it make you nervous. That's when that little fear starts to creep in. Because that's your brain saying, hey, slow down now. Slow down. You're getting ahead of yourself. We don't know anything about that. That's not our experience. Let's play it safe. Let's do what we've been doing. So instead of shooting to make your yearly income your monthly income, let's just try to make an additional $500 next month. The limitation that you set on yourself. Nobody else in the world said you could do it or do more or do less. You put that limitation on yourself. I'm just going to give up on relationships. There's no good people out here. There's no good people out here. I'm just going to let it go. People finding love every day. Love that lasts. Careers that pay more. But you have to be willing to go out and do something a little bit more to break through the fear, break through those barriers, break through those self-imposed negative thoughts that hold you back. Freeing your mind is the hardest thing you will ever do in life because you're changing, what was the word? You're changing your paradigm. You're changing your worldview. And it's not easy work. So don't feel bad if you find yourself 5 minutes after this show ends and you start having those negative thoughts again. It's natural. But just remember, there is no spoon. There is no spoon. Second question we talked about was why not you or why not me? After Neo, the kid gives him the spoon and he's looking at it trying to make it bend, but then he realized there is no spoon. He leans his head to the side and the spoon leans with him. Mind-blowing activity right there, but he was interrupted before he could really finish the thought. Because I can imagine when he saw the kid doing those things, he got self-conscious. Well, I can't make blocks levitate. I can't make this spoon bend. These kids are way more talented than me. Raise your hand. Well, not raise your hand. Put a 1 in the chat if you've ever felt that way. You looked at somebody else's gift and thought, dang, I wish I could do that. Or my gifts aren't special. How many of you have ever looked at your gifts and thought they weren't good enough based off of somebody else's portrayal of it? I wait. I wait. I want to see them ones, them twos, whatever it is. I will definitely wait because I know I can't be the only one. I can't be the only one. There you go. I'm starting to see them ones pop through. And I know for a fact, the few people in the chat that I know, you are some of the most gifted people in the world at what you do. Keyword, at what you do. We all have certain gifts and talents that are special to us. Am I the best speaker in the world? If you taking a score sheet and base me off certain criterias? Nah. I chop my words off. I talk a little too fast sometimes. I don't do certain things well by the book. But when I'm in my full me, there's nobody better. When I'm in my full, there's nobody better. And you have to feel the same way because there is no spoon. There is no limit to your potential. Only that which you set for yourself. So why not you? It's belief. When Neo goes in and talks to the Oracle, she's having these general conversations with him, but then she asked him a question. You know why Morpheus sent you, right? He was like, yeah. Uh, he wants you to tell me if I'm the one or not. She's like, let me see. She looks at his hand, she looks at his face, open your mouth, looks at his teeth, and this is all this formality that she knows don't mean a thing, but he needs to see that. And she says, you know what I'm gonna say, right? He's like, that I'm not the one. She said, afraid not, kid. You got the gift, but there's something holding you back. She never said he wasn't the one. She said you could be the one if you only believed. And it takes the rest of the movie of him losing friends, having all these setbacks. And then he starts believing piece by piece. And he realized in the very end, it was never that I wasn't. What I want more than anything was the thing that put him over the curve, that made him the one. See, his want, which is why I say you got to know what you want, because the want has to be strong enough. It has to make you feel something. You can't say, oh, I want a new purse or I want a new car, but you don't feel anything with it. Just a random thing. Or I want a happy relationship, but you can't envision it. You can't experience it, and it don't make you feel anything. That's just a wish. It's not really a want. That want is when you haven't eaten in 3 days and somebody brings a steak in the room. You want that steak bad. You don't need it. You need it, but you want it more than anything. That's the want, the desire that we're talking about. Napoleon Hill and Think and Grow Rich talk about a burning desire. Your wants have to be something that burns deep within you because there's too many hurdles, too many setbacks, too many things that's going to try to knock you off course. And they will derail you if you're not intently desirous of this particular thing. So why not me? Blueprints, people that have already done it. The mind's job is to keep you safe. Fear, doubt, all these limits and boundaries that we put upon ourselves. I remember back in the day when y'all remember when No Limit Records hit the map and Master P came out saying I'm about it. I couldn't stand it at first. I could not stand it because I didn't understand what he was saying because I love stories. But it wasn't until I got around some boys from Florida. This is when I was my first year in the military. I was stationed in Korea. And they just kept playing this Master P stuff. And I'm just like, bruh, I don't even know what dude's saying. They was like, but you just feel the music. And I'm just like, all right, bro. So we sitting around having a little session. We passing drinks around, getting ready to go out. And they put this album on. And I'm listening. And somewhere in there, I started understanding what he was saying. Then I listened more and more. And then I started hearing Mia X, Silk the Shocker. And I was like, man, Okay, this is a nice compilation of artists happening right here. And then I heard Master P's story. And the reason why he named his record company No Limit Records. Because they were breaking paradigms. Before No Limit, record companies was giving out these crappy deals, 360 deals, where they give you all this money to advance you, but you got to pay it back off your tours and your record sales. So the artist would make, let's say, $50 million in this particular year, but then they'd only bring home 1.2. But then after that, they got to pay back the 200,000 in advance, so they brought $1 million. So now they done bought their mama a house, they done got a couple of gold chains and bought a car. They broke. They make out $80,000 to their name when it's all said and done, but they made $50 million that year. You know how wild that is? Master P said, "Nah, I believe in myself." So he started his own label, selling records out of the trunk of his car. He sold over 1 million records out of the trunk of his car. Then when he finally went to the record label, he said, "I just need distribution. I'll take care of everything else." So he got the first, not the first one, but it was, yeah, maybe the first. I think Jay Prince had something to do with it too. I'm not sure how that whole dynamic worked out. However, he was making 80% profit off everything that he did. He was only giving 20% for distribution. That changed the game. Master P was the one. He was him. Percy Miller, guy from the projects in Nolans. He changed his paradigm and therefore changed the whole industry. Artists now go independent all the time. Some of them never even sign with record labels because they bet on themselves and they say, you know what? If I make good content, people going to pay, people going to support, people going to love it. Why? Because my experience is different than no other. Sorry, a little gnat flew by. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm pulling dreams out the air. But that's what I'm trying to tell you today, folks. It's Friday. It's been a long week, but we don't lack energy. We create it, and we create it through imagination, visualizing what you want, freeing your mind of the chains that held you back for so long. How many times, I don't want to preach, but I'm going to preach. How many times have you had a great idea? How many times have you had this thought pop into your mind and then immediately you kill it? Nah, nobody probably gonna like that. No, it's probably not the best thing for me to do right now. People are not gonna get it. See that fear? We're gonna talk about fear next week. But that fear is false evidence of being real. It's not danger. Danger is very real. Danger, something may harm you. You want to be cognizant and aware of that. But the fear of something that may or may not happen, you see, the battle is between fear and faith. Storms, they don't come to stay. The storm comes to give you the strength to keep going through the next storm, because storms in life will never stop coming. But if every time a storm comes, you run the other way or you drive the other way just to get away from it, you are never going to get where you want to get in life. The storm is a test. You know, I tried to start this morning show or this podcast 3 years ago. I did one episode. I was prepping to do another episode, and then the bottom fell out of my life. I came under personal attack. I came out of all kinds of attacks. I was insecure. My self-esteem was damaged because of everything that was going on. And guess what I did? I quit. I said, no, I'm going to just put it on the shelf for another day. And when things get better, I'll start back again. And then I felt shame because I quit. So guess what I kept doing? I kept putting it off because I didn't want to face the fact that I was failing at something that I knew I could do and do at a high level. But then, I got a new perspective, a new logic. My worldview changed, and I started to understand something. All those storms that came during that time, they came to make me stronger. They came to make me more prepared. So when I say I am the happiest I've ever been, Not because life is perfect, by no stretch of the imagination. I have fires to put out every day. I almost quit 5 jobs last week. But what I'm telling you is my endurance is much greater. My strength is better. My stamina is amazing now because I endured. And so now, in the fullness of time, now as I'm beginning, I have what it takes to not be distracted, to get up every morning and bring content, to do these things. And I'm not saying this to brag about me, but I'm telling you the journey is hard. And sometimes you got to do it the hard way. Nobody is coming to save you. It's you versus you. And so channels like mine exist. Content like this, personal development exists to help you, to give you those tips and those tools to get you to where you're trying to go. That's it. Because people like me recognize that if it hadn't been for some books that I read, somebody writing down their struggles, their journeys, I wouldn't have got a blueprint to say, if this person can do it, I can do it. Guy by the name of Les Brown had a whole career of 2 words. It's possible. Gary's put it in the chat the other day. It's possible. If you can imagine it in your mind, you can have it in your life. If you can see it here, you can hold it. But it has to be something that matters to you. You can't want somebody else's life, somebody else's dream, somebody else's goals, somebody else's relationship. You have to want what's for you. And I truly believe that whatever you want, you have the skills to make that happen. You just got to start believing in yourself. It's not what the Oracle thinks of Neo. It's what Neo thinks of Neo. It's not what Morpheus believed about Neo. It's what Neo believed about Neo. And the same applies to you. Some people could be scrolling through YouTube and see me and think I am the lamest speaker out here. I'm the lamest content creator out there. But that's not what I think. And if I stay consistent, if I stay steady, I'm going to find people like you that says, that guy's honest. That guy's pretty dope. I like what he's doing. I'm going to support him. And because they open their mind, because you open your mind, whatever knowledge or wisdom that I've gained is going to help make your journey a little bit lighter. When you see hurdles, when you get through these barriers, you're going to be like, man, if that guy can do it, I know I can do it. If he can overcome it, I know I can overcome it. He can have failed marriages and failed relationships and then find love again. I know I can do it. Because there is no limit. Because there is no spoon. The only thing that must bend and shape or reshape is that right there. You have to get your mind and your heart tuned together. And when the two combine, there's nothing you can't do. You become truly unstoppable when you can make those things, make those adjustments in your mind. Truly unstoppable. There's the Jedi mind trick. I used to hear people, this is an old 80s reference talking about Star Wars. And the Jedi mind trick was something that people would do that you would say, somebody would say, oh man, I really want some ice cream. Jedi mind trick is like, nah, you really don't want ice cream, man. Ice cream gonna make you fat. Oh, you know what? Yeah, you're right. I really don't want no ice cream. It's just something that comes to knock you off the course that you wanted. Stop Jedi mind tricking yourself. That's what we do every day. We Jedi mind trick ourselves into not becoming the person that we're supposed to be, not experiencing our own greatness. Because all of us have greatness within us. All of us have gifts and talents that nobody else has. And I know you feel it. You feel something isn't quite right. You know, just if I could just make one adjustment, my life would change. It'll change my family, the generational curses in my family. If I can make one adjustment in my life, I change all of that. And on cue, fear, doubt. But who gonna listen to you? Remember the last time you tried something like that, you failed? No, stay safe. Mind your own business. Stay over here. Don't do this. Don't do that. You can't do it. Nobody's going to respect you. And this is nobody but your mind talking to you, because the mind's job is to keep you safe and comfortable. But nothing grows in a comfort zone. And in life, you either growing or you shrinking. That's just how it is. I love fishing. So I got to throw a fishing analogy in here. I will eat fish from the ocean. I will eat fish from the lake, but I will not eat fish from a pond. Why? The water is stagnant. It's not moving. There is not much nutrients, and you got fish piled on top of fish, cannibalizing each other. The water, in my mind, is toxic. I'll catch them and throw them back, because nothing stagnant things don't grow healthy, don't grow strong. They might still grow, but they're not going to be the best quality. At this age of my life, I want quality. I hope you want quality too. I hope you're tired of going around the same circles, trying to figure out what the next move is, but then get to the next move and then you fall back to where you were because it's comfortable. We only get so many chances to start over, folks, and tomorrow isn't promised. So going into the weekend, I want you to make a declaration to yourself. We get ready to get into these affirmations, but I want you to make a declaration to yourself that I will not let another day go by playing small. I will not let another day go by not trying to realize my potential, because truth is, growth is a never-ending process. You never arrive. It is always a journey, but the journey gets sweeter and sweeter as you go. I promise you, I am nowhere near the person I'm going to be in 10 years. Hell, 5 years. I'm not even close to the man, the husband, the father, the speaker, the friend that I'm going to be 5 years from now. But if I don't believe that I can be more, I'm never going to be more. All right, let's get into these affirmations, because I feel like something is happening right now, and not just in me, but in everybody that's listening, everybody that's going to watch this video. I feel like the message in it is really succinct, and I think we've been building to this particular inflection point, where if you've been teetering along, just saying, okay, good content, now you're starting to put the pieces together. When you start seeing all the setbacks, all the problems that you've had in your life, you realize there was no spoon. Could I have prevented this? Could I have gone another way? Sure, I could have. It wasn't particularly this person's fault. It was my fault for playing small. It was my fault for not charging my worth. And the fear, and I say this as a freelancer, the fear when you don't charge your worth is that they won't call you back. Oh, quick story before I even get into the affirmations. I was on a shoot one time, and my day rate for this particular shoot was 500 a day. It was a 3-day shoot, and in my mind, okay, I'm gonna make 1,500 this week, just doing these 3 jobs. I had more money coming in from another source, so this particular week I was gonna make somewhere around $2,500 for that week. Good money, I thought. And then I talked to another guy. I'm not gonna call his position. I'm not gonna dox him. So I'm not gonna call the type of work that he did. But let's just say he was a freelancer as well, and he was on set. And we had been working together at this point probably 5 years. We worked on shoots together on and off. And he was like, Jamon, can I ask you a personal question? I'm like, yeah, man, what's up? He said, what's your rate for these shows? He said, because I'm starting to notice something. I'm just curious. We're trained never to ask about money, how much each other's making. Just like you don't talk about politics and religion, it starts problems sometimes. And so I told him, I said, yeah, I proudly said, 500, 500 a day. And he was like, I said, what? I said, how much? I'm thinking he getting paid less. He said, man, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't leave the house for less than 1,200. When I tell you I felt like Boo Boo the Fool, I knew what the going rate was. In film, in Hollywood, I think the going rate is still $1,000 per finished minute for a production. So if you getting ready to put a production together, the going rate, if you have a 30-minute finished presentation, you should be charging minimum $30,000 if you are the company producing it. Now, if you're the freelancer, you don't always get that particular rate depending on the project. However, the going rate is $1,000 per finished minute. Well, this guy, he was freelancer like I was. He worked more than I worked because he was good at what he did. But he also clued me in that they were calling me in when they had a little tighter budget, and they wouldn't call this other guy because this other guy was charging them like $1,500 a day. So I am reducing my price because I don't realize my worth. The fact that they're even calling me tells me that I have value, but I was undercutting myself. And I decided that day, you know what? No more. No longer will I undercut myself, underbid my worth. So what if people don't want to pay my price? Somebody will, because I'm worth what this rate is. And I asked him, I said, well, did you miss work in the beginning? He said, oh yeah, I missed work. He said, but when I started charging my worth and people wanted what I had to offer, it took a few minutes for it to catch on, but I was willing to wait it out. And he did. So now he don't leave the house for less than $1,200. He's actually a little bit more now. This was a couple years ago. He charged more now, and he works more now than he did then. So let that be a lesson. Let my failure be a lesson to you. Charge your worth. Teach people how to, I tell my wife and kids this all the time. Teach people how to treat you. Speaking of which, let's get these affirmations. We're going a little long right now. So let's go and get these affirmations right now. I am more than enough. I am an overcomer, a conqueror. I am worthy of the prize that I seek. I am my own person. I have skills, gifts, talents, and abilities that create a fantastic life for my family. I am happy and excited that I have been able to turn my last year's income into my monthly income. I'm happy and excited that I am a 6-time best-selling author. I am happy and excited to be the owner of multiple properties and homes around the world. I am so happy and excited that every door that I walk into, I'm greeted with respect and dignity. I am given a fair shot, and I am able to prove that I deserve a seat at the table. All of my dreams come true because I am worthy of them. I am skilled. I have integrity. I am a good person to know, to commune with. And anyone who does business with me should consider themselves lucky, fortunate, because I am the blessed. I am the chosen one of my generation, of my family, of my lineage. I am the one that's going to turn my family legacy into something to be proud of, into something that stands out, into something that changes the lives of so many other people. I am so happy and excited that I get an opportunity to impact thousands of families every year. I don't have to beg, borrow, or steal because I am more than enough. I am worthy. I am worthy. I am worthy. Think about it, folks. Unlike in the Matrix, we don't have machines posing as humans trying to knock us down or keep us confined to turn us into batteries for their energy source. But we do have systems that are designed to hold the status quo. But anytime you want to break above the status quo, there's a way to do it. There's a way to get financially free. There's a way to increase your income. There's a way to be healthier than you've ever been because there are no limits. And whatever you set your mind to, whatever you set your heart to, your desires to, you can have it. You can be anything that you have aspired to be, even if you've never seen it before. It's possible. There are blueprints. There are people who already done it and laid the foundation for you. All you have to do, drop your barriers, drop your resistance, learn some new information, become more coachable. Yes, I know there's fear, there's insecurities, but they're not real. They're self-imposed limitations that hold us back. Start asking what you think you're worth. Matter of fact, when you think you know what you're worth, double it. Because there is no limit. There are no limits. The bold tend to have more success than the people that play it safe. I'd rather get my hand slapped for being a little too bold than to be welcomed because my price is so low. Because when your price is low, the value is perceived to be low. And that's a dangerous slope that keeps going down, down, down. And now instead of thriving in life, you back to barely surviving. That's my soapbox for today. So I hope you have enjoyed where we have been for this past week, knowing yourself, reinventing yourself, imagining possibilities. Because your logic, your worldview, it definitely shapes what you think you can do. So how do you want to be something you've never seen? You start by developing your skills, sharpening your own saw, reading books, jumping into shows like this. There's so many motivational videos. And I'm not talking about just get in the positive self-talk space where you're just saying stuff. You have to feel what you're saying. There has to be a connection between the mind and the heart. Because there truly is no spoon. You're not moving barriers with your mind. You're changing your mind and the barriers move. That's a bar. That's a bar right there. You change your perception and the barriers change. They move. The bolder you become, the more access you have, the more demanding you become, the more doors open for you. Because people would judge you based off their limitations, not yours. If I can't do it, why can that person do it? So I'm going to reject. I'm going to close. That's the way it is. That's the way the world works. That's the matrix that we're in. So what I want to take from today is to face your fears. Turn around, stare them square in the face and say, not again. Not again. No longer will you hold me back. Not again. Not again. Not another day will go by that I live below my expectations. As a matter of fact, I'm about to raise my expectations a little bit more. I'm about to raise my standards. Yesterday's price is not today's price. Because I am a conqueror. I am worthy. What you say, Gary? Some will, some won't. So what? Ladies and gentlemen, special shout out, That Chick Yo, Brick by Brick, Craig G, Bobby Yett, Gary Johnson. Yo, much love, much respect. I appreciate your continued support. I hope, I pray that this message is really standing out and that you're getting something from it that is making a difference in your everyday life. If you like the content, per usual, let me know what you're thinking. Hit me up in these chat boxes. Tell me if you want to have certain topics, you want to talk about something in particular, you want to see you got a specific question, hit me up. Email is simple, jamon.glover@gmail.com. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. Most importantly, share. If you found this message to be empowering to you and you know somebody that can use it, share it. If you want to clip it and drop it in social spaces, cool with me. This channel is about personal development, not just for me, not just for you, for anybody with an ear to hear. Anybody who's tired of the barriers, tired of being knocked back down, it's for you. So as I get ready to get up out of here, next week, we're going to do some blueprints. We're going to look at some blueprints and do some case studies. We're going to examine people who've had to overcome barriers or hurdles and see how they did it. And that's going to inform how we do it. It's going to change our logic, therefore changing our perception. Because if somebody can do it, there's not much difference between somebody else and you. We're all human. We have pretty much the same desires, wants, and needs in life. We have a particular set of skills that are unique to us. However, skills are transferable. We can be, do, and have everything that we want. You just have to be willing to go through the tough spaces, the uncomfortable times, the insecurities to get through it. So you guys have a happy weekend. Do some self-care. Take care of everything that you need, because Monday we're going to go another level deeper. We're going to do some studies, and we're going to make the rest of our lives the best of our lives. So you guys be blessed. Have a great weekend, and we will see you next week. Peace.